Picture this, Habs faithful. The NHL trade deadline passed with a whimper for the Montreal Canadiens, leaving many of us scratching our heads, wondering why Kent Hughes, a general manager known for his aggressive, calculated moves, stood pat. But now, the full, unvarnished truth has exploded into the public consciousness, revealing a blockbuster deal so audacious, so franchise-altering, that would have sent shockwaves across the entire National Hockey League. The Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, those ancient bitter rivals, were reportedly minutes, perhaps even seconds, away from completing a trade that would have sent Matthew Knies, one of Toronto's most promising young forwards, to Montreal. And the full package Montreal was willing to send has now been revealed, painting a vivid picture of Kent Hughes' relentless pursuit of elite talent. Let's set the scene with the bombshell reporting that has rocked the hockey world. NHL insider Jeff Marek, on his podcast, finally pulled back the curtain on complete package Montreal was willing to offer for Matthew Knies. Previous reports had hinted at top prospect Alexander Zborowski and 2 first-round picks. But Marek revealed the final, crucial piece. Bryce Pickford, a defensive prospect from the Medicine Hat Tigers who had an absolutely breakout 2025-26 campaign, scoring an astonishing 45 goals and adding 38 assists for 83 points in just 55 games. This wasn't just a prospect. This was a blue-chip, high-octane offensive defenseman who was lighting up the junior ranks. So, the full, staggering package Montreal reportedly agreed to send to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Matthew Knies was Alexander Zborowski, Bryce Pickford, and 2 first-round draft picks. Let that sink in. 4 premium assets. 2 top prospects, one a dynamic offensive defenseman, the other a highly touted two-way forward, combined with 2 first-round selections. This was not a casual offer. This was a king's ransom, a declaration of intent from Kent Hughes that he was willing to pay an astronomical price to acquire a specific player he believed was essential to our championship future. The reporting from multiple insiders paints a consistent, agonizing picture of how close this deal came to fruition. David Pagnotta of the Fourth Period initially broke the story, stating that a deal was agreed upon but fell apart due to complications. The failed Matthew Knies trade could have changed everything plus one. Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet's 32 Thoughts. The podcast corroborated Pagnotta's report, adding the excruciating detail that the trade missed the NHL trade deadline by a mere 60 seconds, reportedly submitted at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 minute past the cutoff. Matthew Knies was 60 seconds from a Canadiens trade, and the Maple Leafs may never get that deal back. This wasn't a deal that fell apart over value. It died on a technicality, a heartbreaking twist of fate that prevented one of the most compelling blockbuster trades in recent NHL history from ever becoming official. Matthew Knies was 60 seconds from a Canadiens trade, and the Maple Leafs may never get that deal back. The implications of this near miss are profound and multifaceted. For the Montreal Canadiens, it reveals the absolute, unwavering conviction Kent Hughes has in Matthew Knies as a foundational piece of our top 6 forward group. To offer 2 first-round picks and 2 high-end prospects for a single player, even one as promising as Knies, demonstrates a level of aggressive asset deployment that speaks volumes about our organizational ambition. Hughes was not merely looking to add depth. He was looking to add a game-changing talent, a player whose blend of size, skill, and competitive drive would immediately elevate our offensive attack and provide the perfect complement to our existing core. The Knies fit in Montreal is genuinely electrifying to envision. A 6'3", 210-pound power forward with a scoring touch, Knies would have provided the exact blend of size, skill, and net front presence that our top 6 has been craving. Imagine him playing alongside Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, creating a line that could dominate physically, score creatively, and relentlessly drive possession. He would have been the missing piece, the final puzzle piece that could have propelled us even deeper into the playoffs and potentially into the Stanley Cup final itself. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, the decision to hold on to Knies, whether by design or by deadline complication, has its own set of consequences. While they retained a promising young forward, they also missed out on an incredible haul of assets, 2 first-round picks and 2 top prospects that could have significantly bolstered their organizational depth and provided crucial flexibility for future roster construction. Looking back, The unsuccessful deal might even be seen as a blessing in disguise for Toronto, as they ultimately landed the first overall pick in the NHL draft lottery, a potentially franchise-altering asset that they might not have had if the Knies trade had gone through. But for Montreal, the question now becomes, what next? Kent Hughes himself alluded to having something big in the works that didn't materialize, stating that he hoped to revisit it during the summer. NHL Insider reveals Maple Leafs. Canadiens were minutes away from blockbuster trade. The belief around the league is that the Canadiens will absolutely circle back to Matthew Knies, and the fact that the deal was reportedly agreed upon and only failed due to a technicality suggests that the framework for a trade is already in place. NHL Insider reveals Maple Leafs. Canadiens were minutes away from blockbuster trade. The off-season provides a calmer, more patient environment for negotiations, free from the frantic pressure of the deadline. Hughes will undoubtedly be testing the waters, gauging Toronto's willingness to revisit the same package, or perhaps a LY modified version, to finally bring Knies to Montreal. The revelation of Bryce Pickford's inclusion also adds a fascinating layer to our prospect pool discussions. While the thought of trading away a dynamic offensive defenseman like Pickford is painful, it underscores the depth of talent Hughes has accumulated in our system. It also highlights the strategic calculus involved in acquiring a proven NHL-ready talent like Knies. Sometimes you have to give up genuinely valuable pieces to get genuinely valuable pieces. So, let's throw the most agonizing, most compelling question of this entire offseason directly at the passionate Habs faithful. We now know the full, staggering price Kent Hughes was willing to pay for Matthew Knies. 2 first-round picks, Alexander Zborowski and Bryce Pickford. Given that the deal reportedly only failed due to a deadline technicality, should Kent Hughes go back to Brad Treliving this summer with the exact same offer, or even a slightly sweetened one, to finally bring Matthew Knies to Montreal? Or was the unsuccessful deal a blessing in disguise, allowing us to retain those for valuable assets for other potential acquisitions or to bolster our long-term prospect pipeline? What's your call? Revisit the blockbuster and get our man, or pivot and deploy those assets elsewhere? Drop your most passionate, most detailed argument in the comments, and let's ignite this debate until it burns hotter than the Bell Center on a Game 7 night. As we continue to monitor every development in what promises to be the most consequential and exciting offseason in recent Canadiens history, one truth is clearer than ever. Kent Hughes is swinging for the fences, pursuing the kind of bold, transformative acquisitions that define championship rosters. Smash that like button and subscribe immediately, because we will be covering every single rumor, every negotiation, and every blockbuster move as it happens. Habs Nation. The Stanley Cup window is wide open, and Kent Hughes is about to make history.